I got pregnant, they disowned me. My brother did, and they gave him a baby shower. Let me just preface this by saying, I wasn't expecting a parade, okay? I didn't think getting pregnant at 22 would earn me a medal or anything. But I also didn't expect to be screamed at like I'd burned down the church and pissed on the ashes. And yet, here we are. So I 22F got pregnant, and apparently that was the worst possible thing I could have done in my parents' eyes. Which is wild, considering they raised me on that half-baked, we're a modern family shtick. You know, the kind that goes to church on Easter, drinks wine during weekday dinners, and casually throws shade at those trashy families while watching Dr. Phil. My boyfriend, now fiancé, more on that later, and I had been together for over 2 years. We're both in college, both working part-time, both hustling to build a decent life. So when I found out I was pregnant, it was a surprise, sure. But we weren't panicking. Scared, yes. But we sat down, we made a plan, we even looked at tiny apartments with exposed brick walls and terrible parking. Like adults. Telling my parents was not part of that adult plan. I knew they'd be upset. I knew my mom would go on about wasting my potential and embarrassing the family. And my dad would do that thing where he stares off into the distance like he's in a war flashback. But I did not, I repeat, did not expect the nuclear reaction I got. My mom sobbed, like full body sobs, like I had died. My dad didn't say a word. He just stood up, walked to the garage, and slammed the door so hard a picture frame fell off the wall. And then they kicked me out. No, we'll figure this out. No, what do you need? Just, you need to leave tonight. So I packed up a trash bag of clothes, my laptop, and my toothbrush. My little brother, 20M, stood in the hallway like a ghost, eyes wide, jaw slack, holding a slice of pizza like his brain couldn't compute reality. I said goodbye. He said nothing. Didn't even put the pizza down. I cried in the Uber. I cried on my boyfriend's couch. I cried until I looked like a Victorian widow and my eyes burned like Satan had taken up residence in my sinuses. My boyfriend held me through all of it, bought me pad thai and chocolate, and didn't say anything dumb like, maybe they'll come around. Spoiler, they didn't. But here's where the real punch in the ovaries came in. 2 months later, my brother got his girlfriend pregnant. And what did my lovely, image-obsessed, what will the neighbors think parents do? They threw a goddamn baby shower. Balloons, matching cupcakes, a giant "Oh baby" banner in gold foil. They posted it all over Facebook like they were the freaking Kennedys. So proud to become grandparents, can't wait to meet our little miracle. With like 50 comments from Aunt Linda and the country club witches clucking in support. Meanwhile, I was over here growing a human in a Craigslist apartment with peeling linoleum, eating beans and rice, and trying to keep my part-time job through morning sickness and existential dread. I don't even know what hurt more, getting kicked out, or watching them celebrate the exact thing they punished me for. My brother, he barely looked me in the eye when I messaged him, said it wasn't his place to get involved, said mom and dad are just in a different place now, whatever the hell that means. I wanted to burn something. I didn't confront my parents right away. I wish I could say I marched up to their house with my belly out and rage in my eyes, but I didn't. I was tired. Growing a baby is hard. Growing a baby while dealing with existential betrayal. That's elite-level emotional cardio. I was too busy trying to survive. My boyfriend, let's call him Ryan, was the only reason I stayed afloat. That man deserves a damn medal. He picked up extra shifts, made dinner most nights, even pretended my terrible pregnancy mood swings were charming. The man once brought me a smoothie. I hated the texture, and I cried for 45 minutes and he still cuddled me afterward. If that's not love, I don't know what is. Meanwhile, I was getting updates on my family through Instagram like a creepy ex. My cousin posted a reel from the baby shower, complete with boomerangs of champagne glasses clinking, and my mom beaming like she was about to win Grandma of the Year. You'd think the baby was Jesus to the way they were acting. I wanted to comment, where was this energy when I was pregnant? But I knew it'd start a war. And honestly, I was too tired for war. I was growing a spine as well as a baby, and one of them had to come out first. Things really hit a boiling point when my due date started approaching. Ryan and I had managed to scrape together enough to get a 1-bedroom apartment that didn't smell like cat pee and despair. We were still broke, still stressed, but it was ours. We painted the walls. We built IKEA furniture. We turned that shoebox into a home. And then I got a text. From my mom. No apology, no how are you, just, your brother and his girlfriend are registering at Target. If you'd like to contribute, here's the link. I stared at the message so long my screen dimmed. I thought it was a prank. I actually texted my cousin and asked, is someone spoofing my mom's number? Nope. She really had the audacity to ask me, the daughter she kicked out for being pregnant, to buy a gift for the son she celebrated for the same thing. I didn't respond. I couldn't. My therapist, yes, I started therapy, shout out to sliding scale clinics, told me to pick my battles. And this one wasn't worth my damn energy. But it still stung. Even more when my brother finally reached out. It was a weak-ass, "Hey, hope you're doing okay" message. No mention of how I was treated. No acknowledgement of the absolute circus that had gone down. Just some limp attempt at staying neutral, like he was Switzerland in a war that absolutely involved him. So I responded, "Doing fine, still pregnant in case anyone at home cares." He left me on read. This day, I don't know if it was cowardice or guilt or both. Probably both. By the time I hit 8 months, I was waddling like a penguin and rage-nesting every surface in the apartment. Ryan was reading dad books and practicing diaper changes on a teddy bear. We were ready emotionally, if not financially. And then my mom called me. I didn't even know she still had my number. She left a voicemail, said she'd been reflecting, said she missed her daughter, said she didn't know how to handle it at the time, but was hoping we could reconnect before the baby came. I sat on that voicemail for 2 days. I played it for Ryan, for my therapist. I wrote out 10 different replies and deleted them all. I didn't know what to feel: relief, anger, hope. In the end, I texted her back. I said, "It's a little late for reflection, don't you think?" The day I went into labor, it was pouring rain. Because of course it was. The universe really committed to the whole dramatic arc, like some YA novel called Kicked Out and Knocked Up. Ryan was more panicked than I was. He forgot the hospital bag twice, dropped my phone in a puddle, and tried to put the car seat in backwards. But he still managed to get us to the hospital in one piece, even if I was screaming bloody murder by the time we hit the emergency entrance. Labor was a thing. I won't sugarcoat it. It hurt like hell. But after 14 hours of sweating, swearing, and gripping Ryan's hand like I was trying to break all 27 bones, our daughter arrived. And let me tell you, she was perfect. Wrinkly red, screaming her lungs out, and perfect. We cried, we laughed. We stared at her like weirdos for hours. We named her Lily after Ryan's grandmother, who used to sneak us cookies when we visited. The first 24 hours were a blur of nurses, diapers, and trying to breastfeed without crying. I was exhausted, sore, and floating somewhere between hormonal euphoria and full-on meltdown. That's when my mom showed up. No warning, no text. She just walked into the hospital room, holding a bouquet of pale pink roses like that somehow made up for everything. Ryan was asleep on the little couch with Lily curled up on his chest. I was sitting up, half-dazed, in that awkward hospital gown that's basically tissue paper held together with lies. She said, "Hi." I said, "Seriously." She looked older than I remembered, or maybe just more tired. She stared at Lily like she wanted to say something poetic, but all that came out was, "She's beautiful." I didn't say anything. She put the flowers on the tray table, next to the Jell-O I hadn't touched, and sat down. Just sat, like this was normal, like we were still on speaking terms. Then she launched into it. She was sorry, she panicked. She didn't mean to hurt me. She was raised with certain expectations, and when I got pregnant, she just didn't know how to react. I waited. I wanted an apology that wasn't dipped in excuses. I wanted her to say, "I was wrong. I chose image over you. I hurt you." But that kind of honesty doesn't grow in people like her, not easily. So I just said, "You kicked me out, pregnant, with nowhere to go." She looked down. "I know. And then you threw a party for him." "I know," she whispered. "It wasn't right." We sat in silence for a while. Lily stirred on Ryan's chest and made a soft grunting noise, like a baby piglet. My mom smiled like that fixed everything. Then she said, "Can I hold her?" I stared at her. I thought about all the nights I cried myself to sleep on a futon. All the doctor's appointments I went to alone. All the panic attacks I hid from Ryan because I didn't want to scare him more than he already was. And I said, "No." Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't argue. She just nodded, stood up, and said, "Okay, I'll go." She left the room, just like that. Ryan woke up a few minutes later, looked at me, and said, "Was your mom here or did I dream that?" "Both," I said. We went home 2 days later, exhausted but happy. Lily turned our tiny apartment into a circus, diapers, onesies, crying at 3 a.m., bottles warming in the microwave. It was chaos, but it was ours. My parents didn't call again. Well, my dad didn't. My mom sent a card when Lily turned 1 month. It said, "Hope you're doing well. Love, Mom." No return address, just vibes. I didn't reply. My brother, total radio silence. I did see a picture of him and his girlfriend pop up on Facebook, holding their newborn, surrounded by balloons again. Another shower, another miracle. I stared at the photo for a long time. And I blocked them both. Lily is 8 months old now. She's got Ryan's eyes and my attitude, which is both adorable and terrifying. She already throws shade without knowing words. She'll stare at someone like, "You wore that to my playpen." We're tired all the time. Our apartment looks like Fisher-Price exploded. But we laugh more than we ever did before. Some nights we're up at 3 a.m. doing the dumbest voices just to make her giggle. I've learned to live on 4 hours of sleep and a cold cup of coffee like a true mom warrior. And the truth is, I'm happy. Like, genuinely, quietly, WTF is this even kind of happy. Not the Instagram happy either. I mean the raw, ugly, beautiful, real-life happy where you cry over mashed sweet potatoes and laugh because your baby just sneezed directly into your open mouth. That kind. I haven't spoken to my family since that hospital visit. No drama, no final screaming match, just distance, quiet, like a door I decided to stop knocking on. And for a while, I felt guilty about that. I kept thinking, what if they come around? What if they change? What if I'm being unfair? But then I remembered something my therapist said. She told me, you're not required to light yourself on fire to keep others warm. And damn if that didn't hit harder than a contraction. My family wanted the version of me that made them look good. The polished, obedient, degree-chasing golden girl who never stepped out of line. But I got pregnant. Suddenly I was inconvenient, embarrassing, replaceable. My brother made the same mistake, but he had the right parts, the right vibe, and apparently the right PR team. So they gave him cake and confetti while I got silence and shame. And here's the kicker, I'm glad it happened this way. Because if they hadn't shown me who they really were, I'd still be stuck trying to earn their love like it was something I had to audition for. Instead, I got freedom. I got a man who stood by me when I was puking my guts out at 6 a.m. I got a daughter who looks at me like I hung the moon. I got a life, a messy, chaotic, wonderful life, that's mine. Would it have been nice to have parents who supported me? Sure. Would I have liked my brother to grow a backbone and say, hey, this isn't fair? Absolutely. But that didn't happen. And I've made peace with it. The other day, Lily took her first wobbly steps. Ryan and I were both there. We were in pajamas. The floor was covered in crushed Cheerios, and we both just screamed like idiots and high-fived like she'd just won Olympic gold. And in that moment, not a whisper of sadness. Just joy. Just us. So yeah. I got pregnant. My parents kicked me out. My brother got his girlfriend pregnant, and they threw him a party. Double standards, hell yeah. But I got the better deal. Because I got out. And sometimes, the trash takes itself out.